Good day and welcome to another A Week at the Plot. It's all about tomatoes today. The tomatoes that we've grown this year and the tomatoes that I'm planning for us to grow next year. Last night, Richard and I were doing a messenger call with Vivi and had a lovely long chat on Messenger with her. And I said to her at one point, "Oh, what's your next video?" And she said, "Oh, my next video is all about tomatoes and the tomatoes I've grown this year and what I'm growing next year." And I sort of went, "Oh, that's what my video's about too." And actually, that's happened a number of times over this year with me doing my daily mini vlogs on Planet Vegetaria, which then get uploaded weekly to YouTube. There's been a number of occasions I've put something out and she's come to me saying, "Are you in my head? I'm doing that video as well." And other times where it's the other way around. She's put a video out and I'm going, "I'm doing that tomorrow." But yeah, we plan things, and as growers, there are certain things obviously that you will be doing the same because, we grow, we sow things at the same time, we plant things out at the same time, we harvest things at the same time. So obviously there's going to be a synchronicity. The other one was the tools one that I did only a few days ago. As soon as I did that, Vivi said, "I'm doing a tools video too." Hers will be better. Hers will be better. And in her video about tomatoes, I think she's also talking about seed saving. So that will be great. So we'll link to that. It's quite a busy, noisy day down here today. There's quite a lot of planes going over. We're sort of back to a lot of planes going over. And also there's, if you can hear rumbling in the background behind me, it's bin day. So there's a lot of sort of rumbling of big bins going on. But anyway, I'm just going to put a pause in while this plane goes over and then I'll be back to you. Right, let's crack on. I've actually got a list of all the tomatoes that we've grown this year. Amish paste, you've heard us talk about them a number of occasions, in fact all the time I think. They are an absolute favourite of ours. They are, this one's not quite ripe, but they are this shape. They're sort of duck egg shape and they are quite fleshy. There's quite a lot of flesh rather than pips and pith in here. So they have juice to them, but there's not a lot of juice in them. They're not liquidy, if you see what I mean. And we absolutely adore them. They're great on toast. They're obviously great for our roasted tomato pasta sauce as well. And there's something that we found out about a few years ago and would never now not grow. Another one which is something we won't not grow again, we'll always grow, is red ox heart. Quite big. That's most probably about 450 grams, something like that. Again, absolutely delicious. Bigger, obviously, than the Amish paste. Completely different shape. Much more of a sort of beefsteak. I mean, it's ox heart, so it's a beefsteak tomato. That came to us via Gabriella and has been a revelation this year. Absolutely gorgeous. The other thing that Gabriella sent us, she sent us a number of seeds. The other one that she sent us is this little yellow one. Now, this is a yellow Cherokee, and this is the first tomato I have pulled off the plants. So I haven't even tasted this yet. So it's got a lovely little shape, look, and it'll be interesting to see how this tastes. One that I didn't realize we were growing until I suddenly realized we were growing it, because I didn't think any had germinated, is this. Again, sort of similar to Amish paste. You can see the Amish paste is more plum shaped, where this is rounder, or egg shaped, I think. This one has a pearlescence to it. I'm not sure if that's picking up, but it's got a pearlescence to it, very similar to Amish paste, though is a bit more acidic I think, than the Amish paste. I realised I was going around the tomatoes and suddenly realised that we did have a pink Bulgarian growing. Obviously, all tomatoes or many tomatoes look the same until the fruit start forming. And when I saw this pink Bulgarian, I just got so excited because I didn't think any had germinated. So I'm really pleased about that. Black Krim. This is a small black Krim. They're usually about maybe another 50% bigger than this and darker. This isn't quite ripe yet. Again, that came from the Vixter and is again something that we really adored. It's quite dark, as you can see. It's got a different color to it. It's not red. And when you open it up, it's got quite a dark red, quite a black red in the inside. And that just looks fantastic with an array of different other tomatoes. So thanks very much for that, the Vixter. Really, really happy. Right, Roma. We grow Roma, have grown Roma regularly. It's the Italian tomato that everyone knows about. We very often have an issue with blossom end rot with Roma, and this year's been no exception. Lovely fruit. Yeah, lovely fruit. I mean, yeah. Other people swear by them. I don't. Millefleur. Well, Millefleur simply lives up to its name. It has thousands of flowers and it has loads of these little yellow cherries to it. Again, this one came from the Vixter and yeah, is nice. And it's nice to add a different shape into your salad and into your eating habits. So that's good. Marmande, well-known tomato. We really like it. We've had a little blossom end rot. What I do is I just cut this area out. It'll have gone sort of blacker inside, but I just make sure I take that out, and then we will have that and likely cook that. A great stalwart Marmande. You can get super Marmande, which are bigger. This is, again, sort of slightly on the small size. They haven't done that well for us this year. Not quite sure why. And then Rosalita, a little cherry. Yeah, lovely little plant. I mean, lovely tall plant. It's grown to maybe about 6 foot. Has lovely trusses of these fruits, but I don't really think there's anything special about these fruits. So we're not going to be doing those again. What else have I got? Crimson Crush we grew this year. 2 plants were given to us by another plot holder because she knew we'd had trouble with germination. And yeah, they're F1s, and F1 seeds you can't really keep. They don't come true. So if you keep the seed, you won't necessarily get the fruit true to the fruit the previous year, if you see what I mean. That's what F1 is about. It's about specialist breeding to give you the same result year on year on year. What else have we? No, that's it. So, oh, Kosovo. Kosovo was another one from the Vixter. And to be frank, I can't actually remember it. I know where it was in the tomato bed, but I can't really remember it. Maybe that says something. I don't know. So next year, that's this year. What are we growing next year? Well, we're definitely doing the Amish paste, definitely red ox heart, black Krim, absolutely. Then pink Bulgarian, yes, definitely. And that is it, I think, for what we have grown this year that will definitely be growing next year. Amish paste, red ox heart, black Krim, and pink Bulgarian. Then we are going to be growing a few that are new to us. One is called an emerald green cherry. and that is a cherry tomato, but it ripens to be green with flecks of green on it. So again, it will be quite interesting to have that in a tomato salad because it's a different colour. One of the plot holders here did grow a couple of those plants this year, and they were fantastic. They had a fantastic taste to them. So we bought 6 seeds. I think the 6 seeds were about 80p per seed, including postage. And we're growing some of those next year. If they all germinate, then we'll give a couple of those plants away because I don't really want to grow more than maybe 2 or 3. The other one that we're going to be doing next year is Costaluto Fiorentino. Costaluto Fiorentino. Now, one of the plot holders, another plot holder here who has a polytunnel, she grew them this year and they were magnificent, absolutely magnificent. So she is giving us some of her seeds to grow for next year. So I'm looking forward to that. It's sort of like Marmande, but redder, and it's got sort of stronger ridges to it. So very much looking forward to that. And then there's a toss-up in the yellow category. Hi, we've now got barrels being beer being delivered to the pub, which is just next door to the allotment. So there was a huge crash at one point. So I thought best to start again on the yellow tomato we are going to be growing next year. Somebody suggested Yellow Perfection over a year ago it was, and I've looked into that. I kept a note of it and I've looked into it, and it looks like a really good tomato and something that we would quite like. However, I don't want to grow 2 yellow tomatoes. I only want to grow 1. So as you all remember, we have this Cherokee Yellow from Gabriella. Once we have tried this one, if we like the taste of it, we will be saving the seeds to grow on next year and not be doing the Yellow Perfection. However, if we don't like this yellow Cherokee Yellow, then we'll go for the Yellow Perfection. So we'll see what happens. I think that's the important thing when you're making decisions. Keep yourself open to altering them, but at the same time make your decisions. I think it's particularly important in the UK this year. I don't want to go into the ins and outs of Brexit. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of Brexit, but much of our seed, or many of the specialist seeds, come from outside of the UK, and maybe there might be an issue in getting some seeds for next year. So if you know what you want to grow next year and you know the supplier has it at the moment, get on there and get that seed. But yeah, it's been an interesting year for tomatoes for us. As you know, we had to grow some in grow bags, and they have taken so much watering. I mean, so much watering. The difference between tomatoes in the ground and tomatoes in grow bags has really been shown to me this year. Yes, we need to water tomatoes regularly. We certainly do. But those grow bags, because we were so warm, they were just, you would put in, there were 3 plants per bag. Maybe I should have done 2, though it's indicated to have 3. But I'd water them in the morning and most probably put about 10 litres in, certainly 9 litres. And by the, no, that's not true. I'd most probably put about 4 to 5 litres in. And by the afternoon, it all felt dry again. So, yeah. But you know what? They've produced fantastic fruits for us. So the work that has gone into doing the watering has actually paid off, because we've had a fantastic harvest of many varieties of tomatoes, as you've seen, from here. So next year, I am wondering where the tomatoes are going to go. I think they will be going into an edged bed next year. But of course, if I do dig over all of that ground, that's where the tomatoes were this year. I was going to put a pumpkin patch. That was going to be our squash and pumpkin patch. So it is going to be sort of virgin earth, if you see what I mean, because it's going to be dug over as fresh soil to get all of that bindweed and cinquefoil and grass out of it. So it's going to be dug over the winter months. So it's going to be sort of virgin soil. We will be putting some food into it and doing a soil test, not food, not our food, some feed rather, some feed, chicken manure pellets, that type of thing. But it will be interesting to see what the actual nutrient density of that soil is. But that's one of the things for me over winter. I need to start planning because I want to try and get some type of rotation going on these plots, which will then be one plot. So on the 1st of October, we're one plot, which I find quite exciting. So I want to get some type of rotation going around the beds, and I need to plan that over the winter months, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So hopefully come January, I'll know what is going where for the whole year and potentially subsequent years as well. Okay, sorry if that's been a bit of a long one, a bit of an interrupted one today, but I'll be back tomorrow. See you then. Bye. Good day. As you can see, I have this cold frame in its box. I bought this, I think it may have even been last year, but have not found a place for it, so it's just stayed in the box. Though I am thinking about utilizing it as another way of prolonging our growing season a little bit. Let me show you what I'm thinking. Throughout our tomato bed, this tomato bed by the polytunnel, we have lettuce plants. And again, I'm thinking of transplanting these and using that cold frame to prolong the season. Now these tomatoes will be coming out quite soon, so I'm thinking of either putting that cold frame onto this tomato area, or I just swing you around a bit too quickly, popping them into this area here, popping the cold frame into here and then planting the lettuce into the cold frame. Yeah, I'll think about that. I mean, another thought that I need to have is where I'm going to permanently position that cold frame. Ideally, it would be at the side of the shed where we have our cuttings bench and plants bench, but it wouldn't take up that whole area. And I really like that bench being there. I think it sort of works, especially as we're going to remove this tree over the winter. So I guess another idea is whether it could come into this area, though I'm wondering whether I could build a bigger cold frame into this area. Yeah, lots to think about. This is now going over. Not sure if you can see. It'll be quite fun to get the seeds off that. What a glorious colour. Okay, let me know what your thoughts are on the cold frame, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Good day. I was going to do today's video whilst sitting in the chair over there, but it's really, even though it's not sunny, it's really overcast. And again, the brightness of the sun is really affecting my eyes today. I really need to get a hat that I can speak to you whilst wearing so that I don't have to screw up my eyes. I tried it on the chair, tried it by the polytunnel, hoping the shade of the polytunnel would help, but the sun is so high at the moment that of course it doesn't. But today's not a majorly active day for me. I've got quite a bit of editing for the London Harvest Festival to do of other projects and other community sites. The London Harvest Festival is happening online on Saturday, and I'm doing editing of a number of community gardens and city farms and things like that. I'm doing their videos this afternoon. Oh, there's a leaf getting in the way. Look, there's the perfect photo of me. Let me just move. Oh dear, yes. I am not a videographer, clearly. Anyway, there we are. These things happen. Other people would start again, but I'm not going to. So yeah, London Harvest Festival is online this year. I'm editing the videos for a number of different projects around London, and you will be able to see that on Saturday. There's also going to be some live shots, not necessarily of me, but of other community gardens and city farms and care farms around London. So do Google London Harvest Festival and you can join in on Saturday if you wish. There's another leaf here trying to get in the shot. I'm going to come forward a little bit more. Oh, that's all wonky. Oh, this is terrible. Shall I start again? Oh, let me do that. Yeah, it's a bit wonky. Maybe I should go that way. Yeah, right. I'm not going to start again, no. Today is a note-taking day for me. I had to stop then anyway because because a branch fell off the quince I'm next to. Not a branch, a twig. So yeah, I had to bend. Anyway, doesn't matter. Today is a pondering and pottering day for me because I need to do the editing for much of today. And then tomorrow I've got quite a few webinars and calls already scheduled in. I've been wondering what I'm going to be doing over the coming days. So I've got my trusty, which I've dropped, my trusty notepad, which fortunately is sort of partially waterproof. And I'm jotting down the things that I need to do. There's quite a bit of deadheading of cosmos and other plants. I'm also deadheading the sunflowers because, of course, the more deadheading you do of those, the more they're likely to have little offshoots or little buds of sunflowers that come on the stalk. I've noticed on another plot holder's plot, there's quite bad blight. So I'm on their tomatoes, that is. So I'm going to be doing some tomato tinkering and care on these here on the frame outside the polytunnel. There's some strimming that I can now do because turnip toad seems to have moved away from the turnip area, and the grass that I was leaving to grow long so that it had plenty of shade and shelter, it seems to have gone. It hasn't been there for about 5 or 6 days now, so I think it's moved on. Beans, picking beans, that's for seed saving. They're drying really well in this weather because we're having hot, warm at the moment, but that drying wind is there as well. And I need to sort out a number of the squash in the squash bed because they're not going to do anything. So I might as well take them out now and chop them up and get them in the compost bin. The loose de automno broad beans next to me here really seem to be succumbing to the rust. So I'm going to be harvesting them. There will be hardly anything to harvest. Maybe we will get one meal out of them. So I will not be doing that variety of broad bean again. which is a great shame. You know, an autumn harvesting broad bean, I mean, that's like, you know, that's like gold dust. That's fantastic. However, if it doesn't work for me, there's no point in doing it year after year. So that's going to come off my list of what we're going to grow next year. So yeah, it's a note making day, a pondering and a pottering day. Just maybe an hour down here. That will do for me today. Another hour tomorrow, and then hopefully over the weekend I'll be able to crack on with a few other jobs. Hopefully moving some of those plants from our old plot, the flowers from our old plot that we gave up almost a year ago, to our flower bed here. As you know, we've been given permission to do that by the new plot holder, and the weather cooling down, it's going to be a better time to do that. So yeah, that's it for today. Sorry for the interruptions. There's now an ambulance siren in the background. Not sure if you can hear that. We're very close to Ealing Hospital, you see. It's literally over there. It's about, if we walked about a mile in that direction is Ealing Hospital, though it's very difficult to walk that way because of a river and various other things. So anyway, there we are. I'm going to stop waffling and do a little bit of deadheading. See you again tomorrow. Bye. Good day. It really is quite a glorious but brisk day today. The wind is whistling. There's some gigantes forming now. I don't think they're going to go very well. There's nothing in that pod, really. There's nothing, in fact, in that pod. And the leaves are really falling off the Canadian white, and over here the Madeira maroon, but that's fine. Yeah, everything else is looking good. I thought we'd just have a quick look at the cuttings that I did. Was it about 6 weeks ago, or maybe 8 weeks ago? I think 8 weeks ago for the thornless blackberry, which is at the back, and 6 weeks ago I think for these roses at the front. And you can certainly see these roses at the front are developing quite a bit of new growth. And I noticed yesterday, if I can turn this one upside down, can you see, not in the shade there, can you see there in the middle of the screen there's a root coming through? So that's great that those roses have definitely rooted. I only expected a few to root, though it seems as though most are. And on the thornless blackberry, yeah, there's new growth coming in the centre there. And up here. So pretty pleased with those as well. No roots coming out the bottom yet. No. But I'm pretty pleased with both of those sets of cuttings, particularly this wonderful pink rambling rose that was cut down when the big tree, or shrub rather, at the back of our back door was cut down by the new neighbours. So I'm really pleased that we've been able to save that glorious rambling rose. Maybe we'll be able to plant some back in. Okay, off to edit more videos for the London Harvest Festival, which is on Saturday. Google London Harvest Festival and get your free tickets. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Good day. Guess where we are today? We are at Vivi's, in amongst her tomatoes.
Hello, boys.
I was saying to Vivi earlier, you don't quite get to understand how tall these tomatoes are. I'm 5'8", you're
5'10".
5'10". If we take this up, that must be about,
That's another foot.
it must be 6'6", 6'8", and they are just stunning, absolutely stunning tomatoes. Trusses all the way down. I don't know how you do it.
Except let's not show this little department here.
And this is get stuffed,
Yeah,
and
Gary's
gorgeosities and get stuffed, which are shorter.
No, this is what you want. This is what every gardener squeeze into. It's what every gardener should grow as a gardener's delight. Prolific.
Tasty.
Except they are a bit slow to ripen compared with other things. So if you're prone to blight, grow something as well, because I've had mine wiped out before they've ripened before now.
So your choice is Gardener's Delight.
Absolutely, 100%.
My choice is, of course, Amish Paste.
Well, they're all right. I'm just seeing how tall is that one.
Oh, that's even taller.
The Amish Paste. They're down there.
They're down there. I think the one that we need to end on, though, because it's just a short one today, is if Richard, who's dodging the bamboo canes of the arches, which look higher in your videos.
No, that's only because I'm walking under them.
You're
I'm
walking
5'10",
under.
as opposed to our very own beanpole.
Who is there. But the tomato that I think we'd like to end on is this one down here.
Hello, cheeky.
Because this one, Richard, has got a little nose on it.
That's a Gary not quite so gorgeosity.
Oh, I think it's lovely.
Gary characterosity. Oh,
and your cherries,
look
at the cherries as well.
That Amish paste, that is gagging to be picked.
It is perfect shape. Perfect shape.
Yay!
Yeah, that's it. We will see you again. Well, I will see you again tomorrow, and we'll see Vivi again tonight because you've got a video out. Have you?
Yes.
Yes.
So see you for Sunday chat. I mean, a week on the plot. I mean, some decorating. I mean, I'm really confused. Which channel am I on? I'm on. See you soon.
Bye. Good day. We are at our plot today, the three of us, and we are looking at this squash bed, which has the most fabulous foliage still.
It is beautiful foliage. I'm just weeding.
But not really any squash that is going to be fruitful. However, Vivi,
I'm a great squash squatter. No, a squash squatter. A squash spotter. No! Little baby egg.
Just found that one. And we also have another one in here. Bless.
No, I can't quite see that, Paul.
Down here.
Oh, yeah, got it.
What make are they?
That's a cheeky prince, and that's a new cheeky curry.
Oh, you cheeky curry.
But we've also got the celeriac over here. And what was your tip, Vivi?
Well, I was just asking Paul if he has started yet to remove some of the foliage. And now listen, I'm a rubbish celeriac grower. They just don't do well in my soil. But the good growers, this is what they told me, is that, I mean, there's a massive foliage. I don't know if you can see it. This is all foliage on one plant. And what you can start to do is you have to find the outer ones. Just start to remove
the outer leaves.
the outer leaves at the base.
Yeah, somebody said that.
And then, you know, maybe just 3 or 4 today.
And then a few
let
more.
it grow a bit more, and as it's growing and producing more and more leaves, keep taking that kind of outer ring of them off.
Yeah.
And it lets that bulb develop. But like I said, I've never been able to grow one larger than a golf ball. So
Yeah, we've got some that are small tennis ball size,
small
or
tennis ball.
as
As
Vivi correctly pointed out to me, billiard ball size.
Yeah. We need to have, what we need is,
We need to have all our
get them
balls lined up in
mounted
a
on
row.
a piece of wood. Start with a marble, ping pong ball, billiard ball, tennis ball, cricket ball. We kind of
Something else.
Oh, handball. That's a good size.
Handball, yeah.
Before we go up to sort of football, basketball, Swiss birthing ball.
Oh gosh, you're
You know
going somewhere
those-
now.
If you're growing a giant pumpkin,
And then the size of the sun, obviously.
yeah,
Yeah.
which these will become.
So there's a lot of work. The next week for me is much better than the last 3 weeks. So there's a lot of work to do, weeding, which Vivi's been doing as well, and taking off dead leaves, and harvesting all of the beans that we've been keeping for drying, because they're at that stage now where I think any of the beans that are there have gone over.
Yeah.
So anything else we just seed save, or we save for food. And that's it really, because there's another plane coming.
Oh, and your new broccoli coming.
Oh, we got a new broccoli as well.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay for heads of broccoli.
It's even smaller than the last one.
It'll be just for you.
Just for me, yeah. Don't tell Richard. Don't tell Richard.
Oh, it's looking fab. Love it.
Oh, and the cosmos, which I thought this one here was not going to flower at all. It is now producing flowers. So this one is going to start flowering very soon, which will be fantastic. It'll take over from that one.
And so long as we don't get a hard frost, it will just keep going and keep going and keep going.
Yeah, fabulous. Right, that's it.
It's looking fabulous. Loving it.
So much work to do, but that's fine. That's fine. It'll all be done in its own time.
And it's lovely jobs.
Bye.
Bye.
Good day at the Brassica bed, or our main Brassica bed, let's say, of mixed brassicas. I think you can see that the Brussels sprouts are forming quite well. Coming along, we've got various different types of kale. We've got 1,000 head kale and also Portuguese cabbage. We've also got building works going on, so excuse the noise and the wind. The Cavallo Nero over there is doing okay. We don't seem to have that many plants of Cavallo Nero this year. Anyway, never mind, we got plenty of Portuguese cabbage. Most of this is Portuguese cabbage, though this at the front is a broccoli. Also got another little calabrese, well, not calabrese, coming in the middle there. That's just enough for one, really. In fact, it's not even enough for one. But I've been meaning to get into this bed for ages and do the weeding, which really has been much needed. Again, as I was saying earlier in the week, it's so dry. So really, I guess I'm doing sort of winter prep, because much of this is going to be our winter and spring greens harvest. We've got two other brassica beds, one which is completely Portuguese cabbage and one which again is a mix of different kales. And today I'm sorting out all the brassica beds. Once I've weeded them like this, I'm going to add chicken pellets on top, just scatter them over the surface. Then I'm going to get my hose in and give this a really good water, and then cover it up again with that netting. I do need to renew some of the bamboo sticks. As you know from previous videos, this hoop has fallen over, and this one over here has also fallen over. which I think is just the fact that the bamboo has rotted at the base. So right, I'm going to get on and do the chicken manure pellets now, and then the watering, and then the netting, and then I'm going to crack on with the other 2 beds. Okay, see you soon. Bye.